What's going on, everybody? This is Noble, and today we're going to be doing an updated version of the Darklord deck profile. So I'm actually on vacation. I didn't think I was going to be doing any videos, but I brought just a little bit of equipment and a few decks just in case the mood struck me, because I didn't really want to go 5 days without it, but again, I'm on vacation, so I didn't know. But I came up here a little bit early, and some of my family came up here today, and they brought the mail, and I got this absolutely phenomenal, outstanding, beautiful mat in the mail today. By, I believe, I'm probably going to butcher this, but I think it's Paomangamats, I believe. I'm actually going to put a link down to their site in my description below. Definitely go check them out. You can check them out on Facebook or Instagram. But this mat is double-sided. This is Darklord's absolute, so beautiful, feels amazing. The other side is Ghost Girls, all the Ghost Girls, and you'll see that one in a different one. I've actually already had a ton of requests for people to see that one. But it's absolutely beautiful. They do custom mats, like you can get any character, any monster you want. All you gotta do is message them and ask, and they can really do it for you. And they're also doing they just started doing prismatic secret rare field centers. Like, I ordered one of Morningstar, I believe, actually. Cannot wait to see what that looks like. But from online, they just look absolutely beautiful, so I 100% recommend you guys go check them out. They do absolutely amazing work. I can't wait for my other mats to get here as well. I was just like thrilled was an understatement when I saw this, but yeah, it ended up being funny because Darklord was one of the ones I was gonna do, so I was like, hey, that worked out perfect, let's do it. But yeah, guys, I'm on vacation, so the setup might be a little bit weird, but let's get into this Darklord deck profile, shall we? Alright, so to start off with, we're going to be playing 3 Indulge Darklord. So this is, sorry, the camera's a little bit wonky, weird setup, so I do apologize in advance. This is one of the new ones that we just got in Rise of the Duelists, and it is really cool. What this one does is, if this card is normal or special summon, you can take 2 Darklord monsters from your hand or a deck with different levels, accept another copy of this card, special summon one of them to your opponent's field and defense position, and then you add the other one to your hand. Also, you can activate monster effects for the rest of the turn except fairy monsters, which is not a problem because we play all fairies, in the main deck at least. But do keep that in mind in case you're like thinking about going maybe to like Napaloosa or something like that. They are locked into fairy effect monsters for the rest of the turn. But this is really cool because it really just lets you search something to your hand. You get to put something in your opponent's field, but like that's not a big deal at all. Also, I'm playing 1 Capricious Darklord. I really do wish they had put these in super rare. Also, if it seems like I'm a little more quiet than usual, I am. The rest of my family's asleep. Again, vacation mode, Noble. So I do apologize, that's a little bit weird. But Capricious Darklord is also neat because what she does is during the main phase quick effect, you can activate this effect. You tribute summon 1 fairy monster face up. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can make all monsters your opponent currently controls lose 500 attack and defense for each fairy monster on the field until the end of this turn. So they can literally get down really quick because the fairy that you put on your opponent's side of the field can also count towards that. So this can actually be really good because you can just tribute itself, and then you can literally just make all your opponent's monsters lose their attack by a lot. Next up, I'm only playing 1 of the Darklord Nurgle, I believe is how you say it. What he does is if your fairy monster attacks a defensive position monster, he basically gives them piercing damage. But he has a quick effect. You can pay 1,000 life points, then target a Darklord spell and trap. He does the same spell and trap copy thing that the rest of the Darklords do. I'll read it out just in case some people don't know about it. But what most of the Darklords do, except Morningstar as well, is a quick effect. You can pay 1,000 life points and target a Darklord spell or trap card in your graveyard. Apply that target's effect, then shuffle that target back into the deck. You can only use that effect once per turn. And you can only special summon Darklord Nurgle once per turn as well. So, like, the Darklords, a lot of times you just want to get their spells and traps in the graveyard because you can literally just pay 1,000, apply their effect, and then you get that effect again. And it's really, really good, and it's super powerful to just be able to use that straight from the graveyard. It's a really powerful effect, and the fact that it's a quick effect really helps out as well. Alright, so that's it for the new Darklords. I'm running 2 Morningstar. I think I've played with Morningstar at 1, 2, and 3, but with the new fusion, I want him at 2. I know most people play him at 1, and I get it because he is searchable, but I just want 2 because, I mean, what happens if that 1 copy gets banished or something like that? You can still go into the first Darklord, but you won't get that board wipe effect. So I just like having 2 of them. What he does is he can't be special summoned if this card is tribute summoned. You can special summon Darklord monsters from your hand and or deck up to the number of effect monsters your opponent controls. So that is really cool. And then while you control another Darklord monster, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects, so it gives himself protection as well. And also, once per turn, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the graveyard equal to the number of Darklord monsters on the field, and if you do, you gain 500 life points for each Darklord card sent to the graveyard by this effect. So you get those spells and traps in the graveyard off the mill, and then you get those life points back that you've been using to activate the effects from the graveyard. So it is really beneficial. Again, take this with a grain of salt. If you'd rather play one Morningstar, that's fine, but I just like 2 of them. But this is just more of a guide anyway, but yeah, I just like 2. Next up, I'm running 3 Darklord Exjul. This one is, I wish you could see her, but she's right here, so beautiful. But Exjul is one of my favorites. She's the built-in draw power of the deck. What she does is you can discard this card and a Darklord card, and you draw 2. And then same thing, quick effect, you can pay 1,000 and then apply a graveyard spell trap card effect as well. But just that draw 2 is really good. We have a lot of draw power in this deck. She helps out a lot with that. I'm running 3 Darklord Superbia. Superbia, I just think personally, I think it's a mandatory 3 of in any Darklord build because this card is just so good. It has just a simple effect, but it's so great because we're constantly getting things in the graveyard. What it does is when this card is special summon from the graveyard, you can target a fairy monster in your graveyard, except this card, and then special summon that target. And it's really cool. This card has a big body at 2,900 attack and 2,400 defense. But the really cool thing is if you have Darklord Christia in the graveyard, which I do run that because it's great in any varied deck because it's easy out in the field, you can just bring this out and then bring out Christia, and then all of a sudden your opponent can't special summon anymore. Like, you can't either, but like unless your opponent can out that, you have a 2,900 attack body on the field and the Darklord Christia, which I think is a 2,800 attack monster, I believe. So you have 2 big bodies on the field, like not even saying what else you have as well, and your opponent can special summon. So Darklord Superbia is great. I wish I had the rest of the Ultras, but I don't. I'm also running 2 Nasa. Nasa was a hard one to bump down because I was playing 3 of this one, but I just had to make room. It's just like a 43 card deck. But don't turn it off. Don't turn the video off. We have a lot of draw power, so it evens out. Or you can. I mean, yeah, whatever. But what he does is you can discard 2 other Darklord cards and you special summon this card from your hand. So he is able to get out if you have like more of a break your hand. I do like Nasset a lot, and then he has the same thing, quick effect, pay 1,000, apply a spell trap from the graveyard. But I did bump him down to 2. I'm playing 1 Darklord Unicorn because I cannot say that. What he does is you can discard this card and a Darklord card, then you target a Darklord card in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So just a little bit of graveyard recursion for him. I'm running Darklord Tezcatlipoca. You guys didn't expect me to be able to say that, did you? But he's really cool. I actually like him a lot. If a Darklord monster or monsters you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, and discard this card instead. So I like him because he gives me peace of mind if he's in my hand. I know I have some type of protection. And he has a big body as well. And he has the same graveyard effect as well, like the quick effect. But I don't know. I just don't really use him a ton, so he's at 1. But he does have some really great protection effect, and the hand of protection effect on the field is some of the best, and I absolutely love that. I'm playing 2 Darklord Ukabak, little baby Darklord. He is really cool just on his summon. If he's normal special summon at all, you can send a Darklord card from your deck to the graveyard. Like, that is really cool because not only can you normal summon him, but it's easy to get special summon out from the graveyard or something. And you just get a Foolish Burial, any Darklord card, which a lot of times just beat a spell or trap that you can instantly apply the effect and then go on for your plays from there. I'm running 2 Zerato. I like Zerato. It's a walking Raigeki. If you would rather bump Zerato down to 1 and then play a 3rd Nastin, that would be fine, or some hand traps. I'm actually not running Ash in this build just because of everything going on in the world. Things a little more casual where I am, so I'm not really running that. But there's definitely room to run Ash if you want to do that. You could bump down to Zerato, maybe Ukabak. You could definitely do that. Take it down to Morningstar, bam, you have a place at an Ash. Like, it's definitely flexible. I'm just not running it at the moment. But if I was going somewhere, of course I would do that. But Zerato is really cool if you have 4 or more Dark Monsters in your graveyard with different names, which will be really easy to do just right off turn 1. You can tribute some of the card by tributing 1 Dark Monster. So he is easy to get out in the field, and then if you can send a Dark Monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then destroy all monsters your opponent controls. And then once per turn, if you use this effect, you destroy them. but he's just a walking Raigeki, and it's during the end phase you can just blow up like your opponent's board and attack with them, and all the other Dark Lords have big bodies as well, so if you blow up the board and you have multiple Dark Lords, you're probably going to win. And then lastly, I'm playing 2 Archlord Christia. This card is just so good at playing Valkyries, at playing this, because what you want to do is just like fill the board with giant body Dark Lords, and then bring out Christia using Superbia or some other way. And what this card does is, if you have exactly 4 fairy type monsters in your graveyard, you special summon this card from your hand, which is also very easy to achieve turn 1. But when you do, you target a fairy monster in your graveyard and add that target to your hand, which is really cool. But the really lockout effect is that neither player can special summon monsters. If this face-up card will be sent from the field of the graveyard, it returns to the top of the deck instead. Just that neither player can special summon is so devastating if they cannot help that. And like I said, like, you just have a ton of big boss monsters on the field, because that's all this deck is, except for Uberback, and the Unicorn. But it's just absolutely great. So that's it for the monsters. It is a big monster count. There, like I said, there's definitely flexibility. If you want to run Ash, that's fine. So for the spells, which is also a big spell count, for our draw power, we're playing 3 trade-in, because we have a lot of level 8 targets in this deck. So trade-in is just really great. And also because on top of that, everything else is dark, we're also playing 3 lore, which is also very helpful. So like, I'll just off of these, and then Exil, who is also the built-in draw power, discard her and another Dark Lord card, then draw 2. You just have a lot of draw power in this deck, so it's not really a big deal if you run like card for card what I'm running. If you want to run a shorter one, like a smaller build as well, you can totally do that. It's not going to be an issue at all. So for the Dark Lord cards themselves, I'm running 3 Banishment of the Dark Lord. This card is great. It's the built-in searcher of the deck. You add 1 Dark Lord card from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, and it's a once per turn. Literally, that's it, all you do. But it's any Dark Lord card, so that is really cool. And then Dark Lord Contact is the built-in Monster Reborn of the deck. You special summon a Dark Lord card from your graveyard in defense position once per turn as well. And a lot of times you're just going to want to target Superbia, because Superbia will get another body out in the field as well. Absolutely great, and it's awesome that these are searchable. I'm running 2 Foolish Burial Goods. Honestly, I probably run 3, but I can't find my 3rd one. But Foolish Burial Goods is great because we want our spells and traps in the graveyard, and this card simply sends a spell and trap card from our deck to the graveyard, and you can only activate 1 Foolish Burial Goods per turn. So it's just literally like activating something straight from the deck. If we have one of those Dark Lords on the field, you just activate Foolish Burial Goods, put whatever you want into the graveyard, apply the effect straight from the field and straight from the graveyard. Like, it is really good. I'm also running 2 Shadows of Valhalla. I bumped this down from 3 because I was seeing it a little bit too much. But Shadows of Valhalla is really good because if you control no monsters once per turn, you can special summon a fairy monster from your hand. A lot of times I just didn't have a good hand, but I had this in Christia, and I was literally just able to play this, summon Christia, pass. My opponent can special summon monsters. If they can't out that big monster, I mean, that's it. Like, I've literally won just off of that a few times before. That's not always going to happen, but sometimes it does, and I've done test hands. If you've seen one of my videos with you, I think like 2 months ago, I've done test hands with this deck, and I literally saw Christia like every opening hand at 2. So I don't think you need to run 3 of it. And Shadows of Valhalla helps out as well. And then also I'm playing a Monster Reborn because Dark Lord Contact is great, but it's basically like playing a 4th Monster Reborn. Literally is basically what it is. So that's it for the spells. I'm not running many traps. I'm running 2 of Darklord Uprising. What Uprising does is you send a Dark Lord monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard and fusion summon 1 Dark Fusion monster from your extra deck. Using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Then you can gain life points equal to the original attack of the monster sent to the graveyard to activate this card. So the sending from your hand is cost, but you get to gain that life points back, which is cool because probably at this point if you use a few of those effects, pay 1,000, so it kind of evens out, and then we get to go into our fusion from there. So I'm running 2 of this because I'm running 2 of the first Dark Lord. If you want to bump that down, you just run 1. I'm also running 1 Dark Lord Rebellion. What this one does is you send a Dark Lord monster from your hand or face up from your field to the graveyard, and you pop a card in the field. And that's literally all this does, and it's a hard once per turn. And then also Dark Lord Enchantment, which might be my favorite one. You send a Darklord monster from your hand or face-up field to your to the graveyard, and then you can take control of one face-up monster your opponent controls to the end phase. It doesn't target you; you just take control of it. The wording is awesome on that. You just give me that, and you're probably going to use it to go into your plays anyway, because there's no restrictions on what you can do with that monster. You can literally attack, use its effects, do anything. It doesn't negate the effects. You just take it. It's mine now. Give me. So that's actually it for the main deck, guys. Let's move into the extra deck. To start off with, we're playing 2 of the first Darklord. Look at that. Oh, I kind of wish this had been a secret. I definitely wish this had been a secret. Or at Emancipated Friends. Anyway, this one's really, really cool. I'm so excited that this card exists. Like, anytime Darklords get support, I'm thrilled. And I just love this card. So, it's 3 dark fairy monsters, 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense. Your opponent cannot target fairy monsters you control with card effects, so it does have some protection, which is really cool. You only use one of the following effects of Darklord. The first Darklord once per turn, only once that turn. If this card is fusion summoned using Darklord Morningstar, which is why I play it to Darklord Morningstar, as material, you can destroy all cards your opponent controls. That is so cool. I absolutely love that, man. Just being able to bring out this big body on the field and then board wipe, and then you can attack, dude. Because a lot of times you're going to have other Darklords on the field as well. The second effect is during the main phase quick effect. You can pay 1,000 life points, special summon a fairy monster from your hand or graveyard defense position. And this is really cool just because Darklord Superbia exists. So during our opponent's main phase, we can literally pay 1,000 life points, bring out Superbia, then bring out something else as well, and then whatever else we might bring out, like X-Shield, something will have the quick effect that we can, during our opponent's turn, we can just apply something from the graveyard and go from there. So it is really, really cool. I absolutely love this walk and board wipe. I just love this card. I'm playing 2 Condemned Darklord. This one's really neat. It's easier to get out Morningstar with this card. It's 2 fairy monsters that link 2. You can tribute summon fairy monsters that require 2 tributes by banishing 2 monsters from your graveyard instead. It literally should just mention Morningstar by name at that point. But it's really cool. It's easier to get him out. You can do that instead of tributing. It's still treated as a tribute summon, however, which is totally fine. You can discard 1 card, take 1 Darklord monster from your deck, and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. So you can literally choose anything out of your deck, add it to your hand, or foolish burial it, and it's any Darklord monster. So that's really cool. You can only use this effect of Condemned Darklord once per turn. Once per turn during your end phase, gain 500 life points for each fairy monster on the field. So also just trying to gain back that life points that you probably would have used at this point. I'm also playing 1 Herald of the Mirage Lights. I've actually used this card way more than I thought I was going to, because it's easy to just have on the field. It's 2 monsters of the same type and attribute except tokens. It's a link 2. When a spell, trap card, or effect is activated, quick effect, you can send a fairy monster from your hand to the graveyard. Negate the activation if you do destroy it. It is really helpful to have on the field on top of everything else you have going on as well. And the secondary effect is if this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard opponent's card effect, none of that is relevant because we don't play rituals. But just that spell trap negate is really cool. I'm also playing for a few more generic things. Nightmare Unicorn, an IP Masquerena, Nightmare Phoenix, Nightmare Cerberus, Burl Sword Dragon. This one's gone down in price. Even the secret rare is like $20 now, and the ultra rare is like 15, I think. So this is definitely way more accessible now. So I'm super happy about that. An access code talker, and Appaloosa as well, because these guys are just easy to go into really in this deck. Also, I'm running for a few exceeds. I'm running a Dingirsu because a lot of times, I mean, not a lot, so sometimes we'll just have a few level 8 bodies on the field, and you can just go into Ding and then have protection, and also when he's summoned, he's non-targeting on destruction removal for a card on the field. He sends 1 card on the field to the graveyard, which is really cool. Also, a Dagusto Emerald, and a Evil Storm Exile Knight in case you want to blow up some board, in case you just want to go into some rank 4 plays as well. That is actually it, guys, for the deck profile. I really hope you enjoy this. As soon as I found out that the Darklords were getting support, I was absolutely thrilled. I do wish they had been like super rares because everything else is pretty rarity bump, but it's fine. I do like what they do. I absolutely love this first Darklord, and that artwork is awesome. Walking board white man, just being able to special summon from your graveyard or your hand during your opponent's turn is absolutely awesome. It definitely helps go into the plays from there. But yeah, guys, I really hope you did enjoy this. Check out Paomangamats, I believe I'm saying it right. Get yourself one of these awesome playmats. I'm going to link that down in the description below. If you're here and you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe. I would absolutely love it. I'm on vacation, guys. Come on, give me a little bit of love. Just a little bit of love. If you watch this video and you liked it, also give it a thumbs up. That allows my videos to circulate around YouTube a little bit more, since I still am a very small YouTuber. And go ahead and hit the bell so you can become a part of the notification team, so you can get notifications for deck profiles just like this one. In the next one, I'll show you guys the Ghost Girl side of this deck as well. Thanks for watching. As always, I'll see you in the next video.